Alrighty, we are live. Now we're just waiting for some people to come in down here. We're waiting. I'll be right back. I thought I was prepared. Okay, I'm back. That was pretty quick. Alright, so it's been a pretty interesting last time since we talked, actually. I was looking to do a special gift, and that special gift was to get Leah both a Christmas and a pull it up on my phone so I can show you the picture. I was going to get Leah a Christmas and a birthday gift because her birthday was yesterday. And that led me to a whole new situation. So I'm going to show you a picture and I'll explain the contents of it. Here's the picture. Hi, Melvin, Donna. Or Donnie. All right, you see that gray spot next to the microwave? That used to be a cabinet. And the cabinet stuck out so far that for her birthday gift, it wouldn't fit in that area. So I'd take that cabinet down. One more point on that, too. You see where that tile is on that wall? How far it goes beyond the stove on this side, but it goes right to the edge on the other side? I don't like the tile. It's not made to be cleaned. And it's just one of them issues, whereas, okay, that cabinet that I'd take down, that was my spice cabinet. So to replace that spice cabinet, I needed to replace it with some spice racks. And of course, I can't put them all on the same side because, again, I get the same issue of the size. So then I built a spice rack on each side of the microwave. And they weren't cheap. I didn't go with wood. My product typical would be play with wood, but I didn't do wood. I did it with PVC made by Apex. And I'll tell you, if you want to do spice racks, it's an awesome material to play with, but it's an expensive material to play with. A 1x4 by 8 feet is over $20, and it took 3 of them to make those 2 spice racks. And then, of course, I ordered special white screws. Hi, Charlene, how we doing? I ordered special white screws, so when I screwed the shelves in, because they're white boards, I didn't want the screws to look ugly, so I used white screws. Now we'll go to the whole situation of how this came about. I bought her a brand new refrigerator. Hi, Arlene. And that brand new refrigerator was 36 inches wide, where the old one was only 30 inches wide. And that created a big issue for me because I didn't want the refrigerator overhanging the doorway. And so I went and I bought it. And it was supposed to have been delivered last Thursday. Me, being the kind of guy I am, I didn't know it was Thursday at the time. I wasn't home, and I got a note on the door. It said, "Hey, we were here, you weren't. Sorry, call this number." So I called it, and they said, "All right, we'll be there on Sunday." All right, fair enough. So I spent all day Saturday cleaning out the old refrigerator, getting it tore down, get it out onto the porch, get it ready to get rid of. Called a friend of mine that needed it. Said, "Hey, that refrigerator I told you could have, it's on the porch, come get it." And they came right down and they picked it up. And I told them, I said, "The cabinet I took off is perfect for your garage, so you can have that too." He hasn't taken it yet, so he'll be back this weekend, hopefully. But it all led up to being, it wasn't delivered on Thursday because I wasn't here. And they said they could deliver on Sunday. Well, then Saturday night, after we already removed and gave away our refrigerator, now mind you, I don't know if you've ever lived without a refrigerator in your kitchen. Thankfully, I have another full refrigerator up here that I keep my beer and other snacks and stuff in. And I have my beer refrigerator downstairs, which is a mini fridge. And we were able to cram everything into those two. And then I've got an upright freezer on my back porch, so we were able to take everything frozen that I wanted to keep and put it into that freezer. Now, mind you, it's pretty packed. I couldn't add a thing to it if I tried. And I said, well, we can't deliver on Sunday. We can do it on Tuesday or Thursday. And I was like, well, Tuesday will work if you can guarantee me you can be here by 2 p.m. And they said, we can't guarantee times like that. So we'll have to do Thursday. Okay, great. Thursday works. So I had that big empty space working on the spice racks and stuff all week long. And then Thursday, they delivered it. That right there is her Christmas and birthday present. This thing is huge. There's freezer on bottom. Each side of the freezer can be individually controlled. They're both set to 0, but you can go all the way to 6 below 0 on one side and keep the other side 0 if you want. And the refrigerator naturally set at, I think, 37 degrees or something like that. I can raise and lower it, but I'm not going to be doing it. Yeah, it is very nice. I'll be honest. I impressed myself with that purchase. I really did. It was just a whim, you know. I had $800 cash available when I was thinking about what am I going to do for Christmas. And then my mom gave me another $100 for Christmas, so I added that. So now I had $900 cash. And then Leah, lo and behold, goes out and buys me $100 Lowe's gift certificate. So now I got $1,000 to put down on this refrigerator. So I went to Lowe's. I found the one that I liked. I've been warned against the ones that have the pull-out freezer drawer on the bottom, although her sister has one, and they've had it for a couple of years. And theirs actually has a beverage drawer, cold snacks, between the freezer and the refrigerator. So you just pull that drawer open, grab whatever you want out of there, close the drawer back up. You're not opening the refrigerator, you're not opening the freezer, and it keeps it at the same temperature as the refrigerator above. And I really like that one. And I looked at that one, and I really liked that one. But I, again, went back to being warned. Do not buy the pull-out drawer freezer. And I didn't like the name brand. I think they were all like LG or something like that. Or GE, maybe even. The one we got's Maytag. It was quite expensive. I'm not going to say it wasn't. Plus, I paid for delivery. My truck is still in the shop, so I couldn't just go and say, put it on the truck, and I'll take it to the house and I'll load it myself, which I want to do anyway, But so it was delivered. I paid extra for what they call delivery and installation fee. It turned out to be that the delivery was to bring it to my property, and the installation was to bring it into my house, unwrap the cord, and plug it into the wall, and have a good day. That was it. We spent the next hour, easy hour, going in, removing all of the tape, the styrofoam pieces that made it so nothing would break in delivery, and all this other stuff. And of course, being like a stainless steel front, which is not real stainless, but looking like stainless, peeling all the plastic off of that. The same knife that I did this with is what I had to use to go down and trim that plastic so we could peel it off cleanly and whatnot. And it kind of bothered me. I didn't want to play with my knife anymore, but we did it. And we're starting to fill it up now. I still have stuff in my upstairs refrigerator that has to be taken down. I'll probably work on that tomorrow. I was going to do it today, but yesterday being her birthday, we went out to lunch yesterday for her birthday with my mom. And today we had a birthday dinner with my brother. So it didn't happen today. So probably tomorrow I'll work on getting this refrigerator emptied out and maybe start working on cleaning the freezer up. My whole goal is not only do I want to clean out everything I put in the freezer that came from the original one in the kitchen, but because it's a big upright freezer, I actually want to go through it and say, Monday's trash day. What do we have in here we don't need? What do we have in here that's probably freezer burnt and unrecognizable or whatever? Because that was the case of the freezer compartment on top of that refrigerator. There was stuff in there that we hadn't touched in 5 years. So it was like, well, throw that away. I had yellow sliced zucchini in there, and it looked like potato chips. It had been freezer burnt for so long that it wasn't recognizable as squash anymore. And I was like, all right, well, throw that away. And I found some bags of meat, and I'm like, I don't recognize it, but it's freezer burnt. Throw it away. Threw away a lot of stuff. We actually filled our garbage can this week, which is very unusual. So maybe tomorrow I'll get down there and start doing that. If I can't get all the way through the other freezer, at least I can get a large portion of it and move stuff from that freezer into this freezer and work it from there. Of course, this freezer up here, I've got stuff up here too that belongs in that freezer down there, so that'll have to be transferred too. I actually keep a couple of the cloth grocery bags up here to be able to move stuff around. But as I say, I don't have my truck. Now back to my truck. My truck, the lifters have been replaced twice. We replaced the oil pump because they had to do the camshaft, and the oil pump was accessible at that point. And he says, well, you want me to do the oil pump while I got access to it? And I'm going, yeah, absolutely. We got the camshaft. He put that into it. He started it up. It was running really, really well. He was pretty impressed with it. And even though it's not on the road right now because it's got to pass inspection before I can renew the registration, he took it for a test drive. And on that test drive, it started misfiring. So he hooked a scanner up to it. He had it in the truck with him because he knew he was going to need it anyway in case something went wrong. He hooked the scanner up and it said it was misfiring on a couple of the cylinders. And he's like, man, we're right back to square one. So I brought it back to the shop. I just happened to stop over there the next day. Hi, Wanda. How you doing? I stopped over there the next day, and I was like, all right, so where were we at? Did the camshaft come in? He says, yeah, camshaft came in. I got it in. This is where we're at. And I was like, all right, where are we at now? And he says, I don't know. And I was like, okay, I'm not a mechanic, but I'm going to poke and hope on this one. Change all the fuel injectors. And he says, yeah, I was thinking the same thing, so I ordered them, and they were supposed to be delivered yesterday. I was like, okay, so they were supposed to be delivered yesterday, and the truck's still outside. You got somebody else's vehicle in here. Is that why it's not in here getting them put in? He says, no, they weren't delivered. They were lost in shipment. So they canceled the order, refunded my money, and told me to order them again. And I'm like, we've been through this. I mean, this truck's been in the garage for going on 9 months now. We've been through this over and over and over again. I told him, I said, well, to be honest with you, it's got to be this because it's the last thing in the line. I mean, this motor's totally rebuilt top to bottom. And he's like, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. And I'm like, all right, well, then let's just do it. I mean, whatever it takes. So we're waiting on the injectors to be delivered. He did reorder them from a different company, by the way, because the first one lost them. And they are OEM, but I don't know if people are familiar, but you can buy OEM parts from different distributors. They're not all just from like Chevy. And so I'm hoping to get my truck back maybe within, I don't know, maybe the next 2 weeks or so. I've saved up the money to pay for it. You know, I told him when I took it there for the first problem, I told him, I says, these guys quoted me $4,000 to replace the motor, but it's only got 125,000 miles on it, and it makes no sense to replace the motor when we can just fix the one we got. And he agreed. He says, it ain't ever going to cost $4,000. Well, I got $5,000 set aside just in case it does cost $4,000. I'm not broke. And hopefully next week I find out. I actually got laughing because another customer was there, and he's going, well, no wonder my truck has been in your garage for so long. You spent all your money on this one. You can't afford to buy the parts for mine. And I looked at the guy and I says, yeah, I know. I mean, I told him before, you're broke, dude. If you want to borrow a screwdriver, just give me a call. I'll loan you one of mine. And then I told him, I said, you know, this is pretty ironic. Your wallet's empty. My wallet's pretty full. I'm pretty sure I'm collecting interest on mine. I really wish I could put some of it over into yours. So you really got to make this thing work. So I don't know. We're getting there. We're getting there. Another thing I want to talk about was Tim, Ridge Life. He hurt himself. He was out of work for 7 months. He finally went back to work. He got into a different position for the same company, which is cool. I was kind of offered the same thing at my company, except for with my company, I would have had to do my old job for 2 months, which I couldn't do the way I used to anyway. I'd be just sitting in a chair for 55 minutes of every hour and then getting up and doing a titration or maybe go up and get a screen sample and go out and run it or whatever. And the rest of the time I'd just be sitting in a chair and I'm like, if I'm going to sit in a chair, I'm going to stay home. It's just as easy as that. I can sit in my chair at home and do nothing. And so I told them I wasn't going to be coming back, and they terminated my position. And then they sold the company to another company because I wasn't there, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I was replaceable. But yeah, so back to Tim. He went back, and he did his best. But all the time he was there, he was thinking, man, when I wasn't working, I was getting so much done. And now that I'm back to work, nothing's going on. Nothing's happening. So now I'm going to retire. And he did. He retired. He told him, I'm done. Giving you my 2 weeks notice, but I'm taking the next 2 weeks as vacation. I reached out to Tim and said, brother, I was 32 years on my job. You were 27 on yours. And I've been out over 3 years. You were out for 7 months. I told you when you were going back, you were a fool. And I'm glad you got to see the light. He's not in a position where he needs to immediately worry about being out of money to pay for things. He's got his truck, he's got his Harley. I'm pretty sure there's some payments involved in them. And to give you an idea, Tim's driving the Beast, the Ford F-250 Tremor. I looked at trading my Chevy truck in for a brand new Ford 250 LTZ, or no, STX, that's their top brand, STX. All the same bells and whistles my LTZ has on it, which is the same as what David has on his over the Command Mountain. And they wanted $1,000 a month for 6 years in payments with trade-in. And I was like, not going to happen. I don't know how Tim did his, but not going to happen. But I'm glad he decided that he should retire. I'm glad he decided that he will retire. Did retire. His channel's up there. Mine's not. My channel's not up there enough to be able to say, yes, I can do this and I can rely on YouTube. I've only, last time I checked, I had 447 subscribers or something like that. My watch hours are super low because I haven't been putting out any content other than these live chats. So I was like, I don't know. Yeah, it'll be what it is. Aside from the money I set aside for the truck, I've been doubling down lately with if I can put money somewhere that's not needed for any bills. Mind you, I don't have a lot of bills. Leah pays our mortgage payment. She pays the electric payment. She pays our garbage payment. She pays our propane bill. She pays the electric. She does all that. I take care of all the credit cards, the groceries, everything we need for the business, pretty much. And so my expenses are pretty low. Hers have been pretty high. I'm amazed she's still surviving without saying, hey, I need some cash over here. Our last electric bill was $700, just to give you an idea. And that's without running the print shop at all. That's just running the electric heaters in the rooms that need them, including out in the seed house. The seed house is total electric. So there's 2 electric heaters out there, one on each end of the building. In case you're wondering, it's the same building as Mike and Alyssa bought for the shelves, except for mine's 14 foot wide and 34 foot long, plus a porch on the front, so it's actually 38 feet long. Very well insulated, lots of lighting, and like I say, a heater on each end, and then there's a on the floor through the window air conditioning unit, because I didn't want one sticking out of a window. So that's running 24/7, 365 days a year. It's either going to be heat or it's going to be the air conditioner running out there. I do want to put a mini split on it. It's wired for it. It's ready for it. I'm just not ready to buy one to put out there. And I'd have to find somebody like, Mike Smith from DD5 to come out and set it up. I was of the understanding that with a Mr. Cool system, you didn't need the vacuum lines or anything. You just connect everything and life goes on. It's ready to go. And I was told, yeah, no, that's not true. by Mike Smith, of course. He might want to make money off me. I don't know. But I was quoted a very large price to put a heat pump system in, not just for the seed house, but also for this house, so we could quit using so much propane and change everything over to electric heat, basically, with a mini split system. And it's pretty expensive. It's pretty expensive. The size of the head unit we'd have to have outside is pretty high, and I'd have to have 3 units inside my house. My dining room, when you first walk through my front door, is on a crawl space, so there's no heat going into that room at all other than what we blow through the house. And I would want one out there. It wouldn't have to be a big one, just a small one, pretty much like they got in their shelves. It's not a big area. And then I have a back bedroom plus my laundry room that are over top of crawl spaces, and they have no heat. Right now, both of those rooms are running the electric radiator heaters, the oil filled, and they run for about $1 a day each. So I'd have to have one in each. I'd have to have one in one of those rooms. I'd probably put it in the bedroom. And you're talking 150, 200-foot line for that. And then I would want one more going into my living room, which also heats the kitchen and whatnot. I thought about putting one on the back porch, but that's a lot of money for such a little area. It's on electric heat of its own, and that one isn't that expensive to run. I don't remember the name of it, but I think it's a Heat Storm, and I can run the temperature off of my phone on that one, so that's pretty easy to run. But I would like to get it done out there. The extra money that I have set aside right now, aside from my truck, I'm putting aside because now that I've decided I'm not going to be going to Arkansas anytime soon, it's time to start working on my garage. I've already contacted the guy that has a forestry mulcher, local, and told him I'd like to have him come out and look at the property so he can see the area I want to do and see if he's capable of even doing it. It's pretty good help. And if he's capable of doing that, then I'm going to reach out to Fuller Excavation and have them start bringing in loads of fill and leveling it out give me a place. Hey, David, to give me a place to be able to go out and start getting ready to put the pad down and put my new garage on. I don't know what it's going to cost me to level the land. I don't know if I'm going to have to put up some kind of a barrier wall. If I do, I can buy the 2 foot by 2 foot, I think they are, by 6 feet long cement pieces that you stack up to make a barrier wall. Those are $100 a piece, and they can only deliver 10 at a time, and the truck that can deliver them can only take them out 25 feet off the back of the truck. If I have to do that, they're going to need to go about 40 feet off the back of the truck, which means I'm going to need the excavation company here to use their backhoe to, when they take them off the truck and lower them down, hook them onto the backhoe, unhook the truck, while the truck's grabbing the next one, have the backhoe up the first one. So I'm not sure how all that will work, and I don't know how many of them I would need. I really don't. They can only do 10 at a time on the truck. I'm pretty sure I'm looking at least 3 or 4 truckloads. So, we're looking at $3,000 or $4,000 plus the backhoe, and plus bringing in all the fill to fill it in afterwards, and the graders or whatever to level it out, pack it down. It's $9,000 more on top of that to put the cement pad for the base of the foundation for the garage. And then the garage is another $11,000. That doesn't include anything. It's just they deliver it, they set it up, and then they leave. So then on top of that, I would have about another $9,000 of closed cell spray foam insulation going into that garage. But before that could happen, I'd have to have the electricity done. And for that, I want to have a 200 amp service put in. And that may end up having to be, put in on its own meter. I don't know. My picture's looking blurry. Is that looking blurry to you guys too? Let me see if I can clean the camera up a little bit. Oh, that's not really any better, is it? I don't understand why that is. Yeah, probably just my computer. I don't know. There it goes. It cleared up. All right, but then So, you know, the dollar values just keep adding up, adding up, adding up, adding up, adding up. Will the seed business be able to give me the money that I need to be able to do it? No, not all in short term. Not in short term at all. But as we get into that phase, I do plan on doing some videos of what we're doing, why we're doing it, how we're doing it. You know, like the forestry mulcher guy out here, if he can do that, I'll have a video of him going up and down the hill mulching all of they're all sumac trees, so it's nothing major. Having him mulch all them down and stuff. Now I'll have him go way beyond where I want just the garage because they run the whole tree line behind my house. And eventually I want to have more fill brought in and do the same thing to the rest of the backyard. I have a lot of land. It's only 0.59 acres, but I have a lot of land that's wasted because it goes down the bank, and then behind that bank where it drops off and goes level again is the cornfield to the farmer out behind me. I own all the way to the edge of the cornfield. So I would like to be able to take advantage of all that to the edge of the cornfield as much as possible. Down the line anyway. You know, like I say, I'm not going to be going to Arkansas now, so this is long-term plans. And by having contractors doing 90% of the work, I'm 60 years old. I'm not going to get worn out. I'm going to save my energy for bringing the tools into the shop once it's ready to go and set it back up. I don't know if you guys seen it or not, but you know, I was sharing about how I was upset with my old shop that I've got now, and just how congested it is, and how everything is just cluttered and disgusting. I did put a video out showing my old shop in McLean before we bought the house, and that's pretty much what I'm going to recreate here. That new garage is only going to be for my wood shop. I mean, there'll be a toolbox out there with wrenches and stuff in it for working on cars. And it'll be made so if I need to work on a car, I can pull it in and work on it, but I don't plan on it. I don't do my own mechanical work, but I would like to have the ability to go in and do certain things. Like my truck is going to need some body work done on it. And if I had my own garage here to do it in, I wouldn't have to pay a shop to do it. I'm pretty good at that kind of stuff myself. So that's pretty much where I'm there. All right, now we're going to go to this. The cost of stitches. Now, mind you, this isn't just cost of stitches. I went to the hospital 2 weeks ago Sunday. 2 weeks ago tomorrow. And I had to have 4 stitches put in my finger because I cut it with my new knife. After they stitched me up and they were ready to release me from the hospital to leave, I couldn't get up out of the chair. I was totally lightheaded. I broke out in a major sweat. They brought in an ice pack and put it on my head for a while. And they had a guy hook me up to an EKG machine. And, of course, now that creates another doctor. That doctor reads the EKG results and stuff. And it turns out that, yes, I've had a heart attack in my life. I pretty much knew that already. Could almost pinpoint, you know, a time when it happened. I couldn't tell you the date, the year, or anything else, but I know when it happened. But it was a mini stroke. And between the 4 stitches, the EKG, the doctor that sewed me up, and the doctor that read the EKG, my little accident on a Sunday morning cost me $1,152 and change. I'm like, holy crap. If I'd had super glue, I would have glued it back together and called it good enough myself. No EKG needed or any of that stuff. But yeah, that was like a holy crap me. My knife only cost me $39 and it cost me $1,152 in repairs. Unbelievable. Wow. Unbelievable for me anyway. And by the way, you guys didn't tell me last week I was starting to look like Shaggy DA. My Lord. This side over here was longer than this side over here was. And I had to shave it out. Holy crap. All right, so now I got one last topic, and then I'm going to call it. So I'm going to do one last topic, and then we'll go back to the seed business real quick. Because I am going to give away more seeds. I just want to go back into more of the beginning of the business. All right, so for that first part, the other topic I wanted to cover is, it's called the Brave browser. I keep seeing people commenting on YouTube videos, on the lives and everything else, complaining about watching ads. Mind you, watching those ads is what pays these channels the money to survive. That's how all of the channels make their money. To make money on YouTube, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 400 watch hours. And they're hard to get. I've had more than 400 watch hours in a very short period of time, but you got to have the 1,000 subscribers. I don't have the 1,000 subscribers, and I'm not pushing for the 400 watch hours right now either. I don't need YouTube to pay me. In fact, most of the videos you'll be seeing later on down the road, I'll have music playing in the background, much like Drew does, except for the music I'll be playing will be music that I own the rights to be able to play. There's a company out there that's called Lickd, Lickd .co, I believe. Where if you need music to put in the background of your videos, they have a free plan, and you can get the music that's offered for free. And then they have if you want to pay for songs, each song is $8 to pay for, and you can get like all kinds of really most popular songs are available on that program. If you don't want to go with the free program and pay $8 for each song, you can pay money every month, and then you can use so many songs a month. If you want to go professional, you can go unlimited songs per month. But one thing they require, hold on. One thing they require is that you have to have your own video running in the background of that music, regardless of what's going on. And it can't be just sharing the lyrics to a song. It has to be an actual video. If somebody doing something for you or for somebody else or whatever, it has to be an actual video playing to be able to use this background music track. If you only want to do like a music channel, they'll throw you off the platform and you will be blocked by YouTube. So something to keep in mind. I like a lot of the ones that are available for the free program, and that's what I'm going to be grabbing onto. And yes, it's not just musical. There's vocals in there and everything else. And you can actually tell it, hey, I want something that's upbeat, or I want something that's mysterious, or I want this, I want that, and they'll find it for you. They got, I think it was 15 million songs available. Awesome. 4,000 watch hours. Yeah, Wanda Henry, I believe it is 4,000. Yeah, it is. It's 4,000 watch hours per year. So for every 12 months, you have to have 4,000 watch hours. But it's not hard to get 4,000 watch hours. I've done it. I've already done it. I think I did 4,000 watch hours before I had 100 subscribers. There's ways to do that. And if you look it up on YouTube on how to monetize your channel quickly, they'll tell you how to get the subscribers and the watch hours up really quickly using the different like scenarios or whatever. I've been watching a lot of them lately. Actually, I've been watching a lot of them on AI. I'm going to be playing with another channel soon that's going to be running with a bunch of AI. And that one is going to be leaning more towards homesteading, I think. But it's all going to be done using AI. I'm going to create the channel and I'm going to put all the videos together for it and all that with the characters and all that whatnot. But that's going to be more leaning towards, how would you do this? How do you do that? Things that, you will see on some channels, like making strawberry jam, how to make the best strawberry jam with no preservatives or whatever. And then actually have somebody showing you how to put it together making strawberry jam. That's my intention. I don't know how well it's going to work out yet because I've never played with AI other than getting the song for this channel. But I do want to play with that. But I use Brave Browser, and the reason why I don't feel guilty using Brave Browser for all these other channels is that I buy them channel memberships. I give them money. Yeah, it is hard. I know. And I've got 10, 11 different programs sitting in front of me that I need to learn. Hey, Brett, how you doing, buddy? So it's gonna be a big learning curve, and like I say, it'll be a different channel. I'll let everybody know if I can create it and how it works out and when it's ready to be debuted or whatever. But for now, it's just in the works. Um, but yeah, going back to the Brave browser, the Brave browser to me is a way for me not to watch any of the ads. So instead, I give the channel people either money through like donations, through their PayPal, through YouTube, as a super chat, buying memberships for them to get other people to become members of their channels so that they can benefit off of that kind of stuff. I think it's more beneficial to them for me to do it that way than it would be for me with the ads because I don't like watching ads. I don't. That's one of the reasons why I don't watch TV. I don't like watching ads. So when I found out Brave browser took all the ads out of YouTube, I was like, okay, I don't like ads. I mean, I don't even like going on Facebook and seeing ads, you know. And it actually bothers me when I go on Facebook and see ads. It's like, why are you showing ads on here? This is supposed to be a community place, not a like production studio. I'm sure on some of my lives, people might see an ad. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Probably not because I'm not monetized, which is fine by me. Like I say, I'm kind of like Drew. I don't care if I'm not monetized right now. I'm not relying on this as being a source of income. Actually, speaking of sources of income, I do rely on my company Dollar Seed to be a source of income. So I want to go back into that one real quick. One of the things that when I created the company Dollar Seed was, first of all, can I get the seeds? Yes, absolutely. Buying seeds is easy. How do I package them? And I looked into it, and I found out 99.9% of people that sell garden seeds package them with some sort of a machine. What's wrong with that? Well, those machines have what's called pinch bars. Seeds are fragile. They're living embryos inside of a shell or a hull. When the pinch bar closes, to say that's all the seeds that are going into that package, it crushes seeds. So then when the next package comes up to be filled up, it opens back up and those crushed seeds start filling the next packet. I've seen it over and over and over again. I don't know how many times I've actually gone in and, right, you don't need the timeout, buddy. I feel the same way. I've seen it over and over and over again where the seeds are crushed. You'll open up a package of seeds from the store. But then I also found out that places like American Meadows, the ones that sell them for 50 cents a packet at like Walmart or Dollar General or whatever, those are on guaranteed sales. So if those seeds don't get sold, what they do is they take the seeds back at the end of the year. They take people with envelope openers, the one that has the razor blade and the V, they open the packages back up, dump the seeds back into the container, mix them in with the new seeds or whatever they're using, and then repackage them again for the following year. Well, seeds aren't good for that long. Some seeds are good for 3-4 years. Some seeds are good for up to 5 years. Some seeds are only good for up to 1 year. And because they're always dumping them back in, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're selling. And some of them are damaged when they sell them. Because like I say, that pinch bar crushes seeds. So I decided I wasn't doing that. I wanted to be able to take a big package of seeds, because I know it's been packaged the same way, dump them into a hopper, pick out all the bad ones, using rubber gloves or tweezers or whatever means you got to use. We don't touch our seeds by hand ever. Once all the bad ones are picked out, now you got a good collection of seeds. But now, how do you put them into the package knowing how many seeds are going to be in a package? That's where my fun came in. I went out and I bought a whole bunch of all of the same brand, same color, same size spoons. And I decided, spinach. You get 110 seeds in the package for $1. Why? I don't think an average gardener needs 110 seeds, but those seeds are good for 4 years. Sometimes 5 if they're kept in a dark, cool place. As long as they're out of the sunlight and don't get wet, they're good for a long time. So you don't have to go out and buy new seeds next year. You can just close the package back up and put them in a drawer. Well, that was pretty easy to come up with. All right, well, what do we put the seeds in? Well, it's got to be something you can close back up and put it into a drawer, dummy. These guys that sell seeds in these paper packages, first of all, if you look at the bottom of the package, it tells you how many grams of seeds you're getting. That tells you absolutely nothing about how many seeds you need to use to fill a row. Say, if you're planting something like, say, spinach, you want one seed every 2 inches apart or whatever down a row, and you want your rows 3 inches apart. It's helpful to know how many seeds you need to be able to make your rows as long as you want to make them and how many rows you want to go wide. They didn't do that. They didn't do that at all. They were all, well, we're going to sell you 3.5 grams of seed or whatever. Okay, great. How many seeds are in 3.5 grams? I don't know. Some of them don't even go to a 0.2 gram. How many seeds are in 0.2 grams of that seed? I don't know. I actually can tell you how many seeds are in each one of our bags because we literally pull them out of the bin with the spoon we have in mind. We dump them onto a piece of paper and we physically count how many seeds are on that paper. That's why when you go to our site, it says approximately how many seeds. I never try to give the exact amount, ever. I always try to go over. If it goes under, I get complaints. If it goes the exact amount, I don't hear nothing. If I go over, I don't get a big thank you, but I didn't get the complaints. And that was a rule. I decided that was going to be how it was going to be. And then when it came time to be in, like, okay, well, what information do we need to put on the packages? For that, my first thing I did was I went to the United States Department of Agriculture. And I asked them, what is the minimum requirement I need to put on a package of seeds that I want to resell to the public? And they gave me their requirements. And then I had to reach out to New York State Department of Agriculture because they run under a different set of rules and said, what do I need to sell a package of seed to the general public? And they gave me their rules. The one rule I do have that I cannot go against, and I will never go against, I cannot harvest my own seeds to sell in my seed store because New York State has what they call a mandatory quarantine length of time, which is from the time the seeds are actually harvested. So you have to go to a lab and be tested for all kinds of stupid diseases that they probably wouldn't have anyway, and then sit in quarantine and then be shipped back to me for that one lot of seeds. So if I pick more a week later, that's a new lot that has to go back through the same process again. And I will not do that. I will not do that. All of the seeds we buy are tested, certified through other labs, through the people that sell them to me. And I get all of their test data with every package of seed, lot numbers, the whole 9 yards. I actually have to keep them in a notebook of every variety of seed we ordered, how many we ordered, based on pounds, not on seed counts, thank God, but based on pounds. How many did we order? What are the lot numbers? What were the germination rates? What day were they tested? How many seeds are you planning on putting into the package? What's the name of the variety? All that has to go onto a label. And I was like, okay, well, that's easy enough. So I created the labels. Now, mind you, that made it so now I got to buy labels. And I had to buy the packaging, which are Ziploc bags. And you can open it. You can take out what you want. You can zip it back up, put it in a cool, dry place, and it'll be there again for next year. So I got that all running perfect. Now, if you go to a lot of seed companies, they'll actually tell you how many seeds you're going to buy. Brett, you want to buy a ton of seeds? I'll be honest with you, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. I can tell you right now, I have probably about 2,000 pounds of seed right now in my seed house, and that's $250,000. So it's not cheap by any means. It's not cheap. I believe a ton of seeds will probably cost you about 10-15 million, depending on where you get them and what kind of seed you want. And that's the thing about seeds too. All seeds are different sizes. You know, Some seeds are like dust. Some seeds, like beans, are really, really big. We actually have one bean seed that, for me to put 6 of them into a bag, I'm pushing to get the bag closed. They're just that big. We got big squash seeds that way too, banana squash. Um, so you never know how much space it would take. That's a big one. Yeah, a ton of seed. Hey, Brett, when you win the lottery, instead of buying all them seeds, just purchase that property next door, and I'll be right there. Even if it's just my camper for the weekend, I'll be right there. Hell, I'll even pay to have the water and electric put on. Yeah, I mean, like the seed business is a very, very weird business to be in. It's a commodity. It's based on crop failure. People never know what you're going to be able to get this year versus what you had last year or what you're going to be able to get next year. I've had times where some of the most basic seeds you'd think they'd always be available, and due to crop failure in one region or another, they weren't available for like 6 or 8 months. A really good example of this was sunflower seeds. There was a spell here last year, no, year before last, sunflower seeds were not going to be available from anybody who was looking to buy sunflower seeds. They just weren't going to be available. And I reached out to every one of my suppliers and I said, look, I want to know about what sunflower seeds you have available and how many pounds of them I can buy. And I bought every one of them out of business on purpose. That made it so their customers that wanted to buy sunflower seeds would get a note stating we don't have any available. However, our competitor does. And they would give the name of my seed site to their customers to be able to buy the sunflower seeds that I bought from them in smaller packages. And that was special. You know, I played that game proper. Another thing that I've been doing, I'm not doing right now, is advertising. We were doing 24/7 radio advertising, 365 days a year. I'm not doing that right now. The business dropped off so much this year due to inflation and the unknowing of where our future was going to be for this country and everything else going on. People were afraid to spend money. They were afraid. Even though it's cheaper to buy a seed than it is to buy the product in the store, they were afraid to spend the money because they knew they had to feed their family now and not worry about 3 months from now when it goes to harvest time or whatever. So the business dropped off drastically. So I quit doing all radio advertising. I'm kicking myself in the butt because it's also put a hurt on the business, but in the same respect, it's okay. It's okay. Oh, like when I was talking about things like AI, the song for this channel is AI. Okay. When I did advertising for Dollar Seed, that was not done through AI. And I'll recommend this to anybody that has anything that they want to sell, advertise, or whatever. Don't create your own advertisement. That was one lesson I learned a long time ago. Do not create your own advertisement. Don't push the products you think people want. Push all of your products and let them make the decision because what you think they want may not be anything like what they had in mind. And you'll push them out of your business. All of my radio advertising and a lot of things that I get done, including the logo for the Dollar Seed store, have all been done through a company that's called Fiverr, Fiverr. And I think I paid maybe $20 for the advertisement for the Dollar Seed ad. It runs 30 seconds. I paid $5 for the logo. I'm going to see if I can pull up. I'm not sure if I have it available on this computer, but I'm going to see if I can pull up that ad and let you listen to it. It'll be playing out of my speakers, but maybe you'll be able to hear it. Let me go up one more here. Quick access isn't working. Let me see if I can pull up this ad. Go to libraries. Go to music. And nope, I don't have it. I don't have it on this computer. Bummer. I thought I did. Let me go back again. Go back one more. OneDrive personal. I think I might have it there. Music. No, I don't have it there either. Wow, that's unusual. I have to figure out what I did with it. But it's a 30-second ad. I had 2 or 3 different ads created, and the one that I stuck with was the most heartfelt ad that I thought this guy just knocked it out of the park. The way he created that ad was perfect. The wording he put in it was perfect. He took it right to the last second on 30 seconds with a good ending on it. And, like I said, I think I paid him like $20 for that one. I probably paid 4 or 5 other creators, maybe 3 other creators, to create other series of ads to find out which one I wanted to play with. And that one turned to be a great one. It didn't matter if it was on a gospel radio station. It didn't matter if it was on a country music station, a talk radio station, a rap music station. It didn't matter what station it got played on. It came out well. I paid another $5 to take that ad and add some music to the background of it. That's why I'm kind of mad that I can't just pull it up right now. I know I've got it available here somewhere, but on this computer I can't pull it up. And it's like, even if I spent $200 to get that ad put together, by putting that on the radio, on the internet for 24/7, 365 days a year, that ad probably generated $250,000 in sales. So it was money well spent. And all of it, it was money well spent. I'm kicking myself in the butt now because I should be putting that ad back out, but I'm setting money aside for other projects. I may change my mind in the very, very near future and start putting it back out again. I don't know. I haven't decided. But guys, it's not quite an hour on this one. I don't really have anything else more to talk about, so I'm going to cut this one short. But thanks for joining in. I appreciate y'all. I don't think I'll be here next week. I think I'm going to take the week off and see what I can get done around here. If we're not buried in snow, I might be able to get something created. I don't know. I need to do something in my garage to make some walk room. I do need access to that again. I had to use that for the spice racks, and I was so PO'd on that one. I'm going to have to go out there and do something. Even if it means folding up tools, shoving them off to the side, and sweeping the floor, I got to at least do something on it. So, I'll catch you all later. I probably won't be here next weekend, like I say. I'm going to really try to get out in the garage and do some work out there, try to organize some things and whatnot. And catch you all on the next one. Later. Arlene, you're welcome.